Good day. I am Luna Suzanne Oku, and I will be talking about the use of assessment blueprint, which can be found on Chapter 1 of Classroom Assessment, Principles and Practice that Enhance Student Learning and Motivation. Firstly, what is an assessment blueprint? So assessment blueprint can be used so that a representative sample can be produced. It is used as a guide when making the final quarter exam. It would help the teacher in distributing the questions related to the topics that has been covered by the class. It would help in realizing what topics have been favored, and it would help in reducing the chances of being biased when it comes to the number of items considering the difficulty level. So assessment blueprint is somewhat a guide for the teacher. It is usually printed so that they are able to track down what are the different components in an examination would look like. Again, this would be the guide for them to know where to place the test items for each components are. So each topic would require a representative or a test item for the final quarter exam, because what would be the use of the lessons discussed if there aren't any test items for that number or for that topic. So, assessment blueprint may include but is not limited to: first, the lessons covered that are found on the curriculum guide of each subject; second, the hours that it has been taught in relation to the span of time each quarter is timed; third, the types of tests such as the multiple choice, modified true or false, matching type, and essay type of exam categories; fourth, that item placements where different number holds different target areas for the exam; lastly, the difficulty that each test item may be. This can include easy, average, and difficult questions. So, the skills and competencies are also included in this one, or in the assessment blueprint, as it indicates the mastery or target that would reflect to what the students are able to achieve. So let us now proceed to the examples of an assessment blueprint, or what it would look like. So now this is an example of an assessment blueprint. So this is actually from my major. So this is an Aralin Panlipunan 9 Economics. So again, the first part, or the first column, we can see here that the first column contains the lesson. So from Aralin 1, and then the sub columns, and then to Aralin 2, Aralin 3, and other Aralins that you can find, or other lessons that we can find in there. So the next one are the skills and competencies, which this can be found in the curriculum guide of Arling Panlipunan. The third one would be the code. This can also be found in there, which would be the skills and the competencies, or the skill or competencies would go with the code. So this is a pre-made code that is already in the curriculum guide. The next one are the total items that each lesson would have in the, what do you call this, in the test. So for this test, there are actually 60 item tests here. This is a 60 item test. So it is divided into 3 categories: the easy, average, and difficult. So for the easy, the test would include 60% easy test items. The average would be about 30%, and then the difficult would be around 10%. So in 60 items, this would the easy ones would be around 36. The average would be around 18 items, and then the hard items would be 6 items in there. So in this one, we could see the item placements of each item. And then in that item, it would correspond to the aralin or the lesson that it would portray. So in this one, for araling 2, yeah, for araling 2, which is the kakapusan, we could see that numbers 1 to number 4, it would include questions with regards to the lesson 2 or the araling 2. And then for the average one, we could observe in the numbers 37 to 37, 38, and 39, we could observe it under lesson 2 to 2. And then it has 3 items. And then for the difficult part, 55 to 57, it would also be there, and it would be at most 3 items. And then the other one of this is that yeah, it lacks on the category or what type of exam would this be. But when I was able to see the type of exam, and it was all multiple choice. The 60 items is all multiple choice, and the questions would vary by the difficulty. So the easy, the average, and the difficult, it would really vary. So this is an example. So actually, this is 2 quarters. So we can see the first quarter was the first one, and then here now is the second quarter. So now let us proceed to another example. So this is another example of it. So this one is the last time we talked about in the grade 9, yeah, pangkat 9. That was two grading, so first grading and second grading. While in here, this is only second grading for the grade 8. And the topic of it was about ang daigdig sa klasiko at transitional na panahon. So the first column would include the lessons purely for second grading in grade 8. And then the next column would be the skills and competencies that it's equivalent, and then also the code. And then here we could observe the R's taught. So we have 1.5 R's. And then for the next part of the R's taught is for 2 R's na. And then the total R's of it is 24. So this is situated in karong pandemic because it's only 3 meetings a week. So the next one would be the type of test. We can see the multiple choice, and then there goes modified true or false, the both multiple choice and modified true or false. And then we could also see the 3 types of exams here, which is the multiple choice, the modified true or false, and essay. And then lastly, the last part of the exam would be an essay. So there are 3 exams, 3 categories of exams or type of exams here. So multiple choice, modified true or false, and essay. So we could observe here the percentage of test items too. What happens there is that the formula of this is actually, I'm not sure, but but it totaled to 100. So I think that's valid. And then the next one now is the item placements for easy, average, and then difficult. So in easy we could see 60% still. So the 60% of it is 36. There are 36 items in the exam that are easy. And then for the average, there are 18 exams for the average. And lastly, for the difficult, there are 6. So the total number of it is still 60. And we can see here on the last slide, we could see the tally of the total items in per lesson. So if what we could see here is that per lesson, there really are questions. So the one that has number 1, usually these are the difficult ones. These are difficult questions. That's why it only has one test item. So just like here. So that's it for the examples of assessment blueprint. I hope you learned something as much as I learned about this. So thank you.